Have you ever followed all of the communication rules, the I statements, the calm tone, the perfect timing, and yet you realize that you still get it wrong? It's so frustrating when we have been in therapy for as long as we have, and we have been doing the coaching and the inner work and the personal development and the journaling and the meditating and the grounding and the yoga, and still meet men out in the wild who aren't able to connect with us at the level that we desire it. And this isn't us failing at communication, it's something deeper than that. And that is what I want to talk about today. So, you're actually bumping into this biological relational limit. And what that means is that there is this relational field that happens all around us, because if you believe that you are energy, he is energy, you have an aura, he has an aura, and then you guys collaborate on those auras, right? That's the way I connect with everyone and everything, because every single thing on this planet is made of energy, and matter is simply just the formation of atoms and protons and neutrons operating in a certain way in order for me to perceive it as such. So obviously, we all saw the movie The Matrix. If what I'm saying isn't making sense conceptually, I highly recommend rewatching The Matrix. Maybe when you watched it the first time, you weren't at the consciousness level. Not that it's a hierarchy, but it's an expansion, right? So as we expand our worldview, we get to tap into empathy, other people's shoes, how other people live. And that is what breaks us free from this binary way of thinking like our parents are capable of. I am just so proud of how many parents in this day and age are wanting to do the work. I have seen them really, really try, and I see them struggle, and I see that it's a bit easier, right? Generational privilege, I believe, is a really real thing. And my dad's visiting right now from the East Coast, and they're having a family reunion with all of the siblings. And it's such a beautiful thing to witness them all together. But then I also am able to sense these relational field activations, because that's just the way my brain works. I see patterns and I recognize stories and narratives that people are reacting from simply because of conditioning or programming. So when I hang out with conscious human beings here in LA, I have so much fun. And I just love dinner parties. I love gathering. I love questions. I love diving into who we are beyond just this mask of who we pretend to be in order to feel safe in a world that we are too scared to be our true selves in. That's why I created my program, Union. It's a community where if you are redefining your relationship with love and success and freedom, so that you can come into harmony with the true person that you are, not who you've been programmed to be, join Union. It's incredible. I honestly am just really, really excited about it, because it's the first time in my entire life where I get to be witnessed and be received, and then we all get to do that for each other. And it's not about let me teach you, yes, and I will answer questions and I will provide support and guidance, but more importantly, we're going to learn from each other. So there's a community aspect to it where I call it the well of wisdom, and we all just put in things that we're struggling with or our wins and celebrate each other. And if any of us need support, right, we're not here giving advice to each other, because none of us can tell somebody else what to do with their life, but we can definitely share our lived experience. So we can definitely share stories. We can definitely say, hey, I felt this and this was my experience. So going back to this whole dynamic with your partner or your boyfriend or your situationship or a friend, where you are trying to communicate and you're having this issue, not because you're lacking skills, but it's because you're lacking the capacity. So what is capacity? What is nervous system regulation? What does it mean to expand our capacity? So many people are talking about this on the internet, but nobody is really showing you how to like actually implement it. We're trying to copy what other people are doing in order to fit in and have a sense of belonging, when the reality is, and the paradox is, that being so not like everybody else is what actually helps you become who you are meant to be on this planet. And then once you understand yourself so much more deeply, it's no longer about, I need to win, I need to control, I need to defend. It really does become, how can we create more harmony in this dynamic? So the relational field between two people is extremely sensitive based on your own nervous system. So if you're somebody with a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and you're not taking care of your mental health, you're not taking care of your body, you're not taking care of like your emotional wellness, the relational field is going to be distorted. It's not going to be as simple. You're going to create distance and friction between you and others. And when you are operating from the frequency of like deep self-love, you radiate that. You emanate it. It's your auric field. So then your aura and your energy rises. And this isn't to say like high vibe only and you're never going to have bad experiences and you're never going to have emotional setbacks, because that's just not realistic. So when you're in conflict with your partner, I just recently went through this experience over the weekend. We have been really strong, really good. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary back in May. We celebrated the heck out of that anniversary. Like, we went to New York, we did a bunch of shows, lots of fancy dinners. We went to Thailand, we went to Vietnam, we did business class flights, and it was amazing. And we were on a really high in our relational field. And then he gets a new job, and then his current employer doesn't want to let him go. He becomes double employed, making $500,000 like overnight. And it's like a really interesting time for him, but he's like overwhelmed. He's so overwhelmed. And I am trying to be so conscious of his lived experience without only thinking about my own. And that has been like how I'm expanding into becoming aware of this third entity. So this relational field between two people who are trying to connect is a third entity that wants to communicate with the both of you. And when like your auric field is dimmed and you're not shining to your brightest ability and capacity, and if his is also the same, right? Like I was mentioning, he was so overwhelmed. The relational field becomes a bit more weak, not in like a scary negative way, but think of it as a Wi-Fi signal. What happens in a weak signal is that messages may drop. The call may get disconnected. You have trouble hearing each other. A jammed signal can cause misinterpretation, can cause us to think they're saying something, but in reality, they're saying something else, right? But our perception of what they're saying is clouded by years and years of our stories and lived experiences and conditioning and programming. Like, it doesn't matter how good and perfectly you deliver the message to somebody. If the signal is weak, the field can't receive it, right? So think of it as like playing the game of telephone and somebody in the middle is unable to listen, like a deaf person. It's just not gonna work. So relational intelligence is the ability to read, regulate, and respond to the field, not just choose better words. This is really important to understand conceptually, but also to really feel it energetically in your body. Because when you're trying to choose the right word or the right thing to say while you're in a conflict with somebody, and if you're thinking like, how do I say this perfectly? You're in your head and you're not in your body. And the only way that you can have emotional safety is if you have two people who are present in the moment. And in order to be present, you must be anchored and grounded in your body, not thinking about what they're going to think, what they're going to say, how they're going to react, all of that. And you focus your attention onto you, like onto your lived experience. How do I feel? What do I need? Where am I not being met? Right? And that is what I like to call emotional processing. So when you're in a conflict with somebody and your relational field is not having a strong signal and you sense that it's a weak signal, what I love to do is take space away to do the emotional processing work of like, okay, what just happened? Sometimes I use ChatGPT to help me out, to be honest, where I'm like, hey, this just happened. I'm feeling really heated and activated. What are my blind spots? Challenge me to think about this in a different way. When emotional safety drops, the nervous system shifts into survival. So this is when you get triggered. You go into fight or flight, freeze or fawn, whatever your natural place of collapse or armor. You know what? I actually have this incredible little thing from my girl Dana. Okay, so these are the 4: fight, push through, threat, force, which is a big one for me. And then flight is a big one for me too. Escape it, threat, avoidance. And then fawn, this one is really big in a lot of the women that I hold space for, where it's appease it. You leave yourself in order to please others or make other people happy, comfortable, etc. Freeze, the shutdown, the overwhelm, the collapse, where like you just can't do anything, you can't move, you can't like activate. So like all of these I have felt and experienced at some point in my journey. The way to move through the trigger and the activation and back into neutrality in your body is through the work of nervous system regulation. So when you're in fight or flight, the body literally prioritizes threat detection over human speech. So instead of listening to the person in front of you, you start to pick up on all of the ways that they're attacking you. And this happened to me over the weekend where I was like, oh my gosh, he thinks I'm a failed entrepreneur. I'm not making enough money to support the big vision that we are co-creating together. And I am feeling like I'm a failure. So old me would have not even gotten there. She would have defended. She would have gone into fight or flight. She would have collapsed in overwhelm, trying to explain herself. She would have absolutely no idea what just happened, and she would stomp her feet, go into a different room, go to sleep, wake up, hoping that he would just come and apologize and make it all better. And then she can ignore that they have problems or issues in the relationship, and she's suppressing her truth. Now, this me, I'm so much more aware of where am I abandoning myself? Where am I dimming my light? Where am I not speaking my truth? Where am I hiding how I feel? Where am I trying to grasp and hold on to this relationship? And maybe it is over, right? It doesn't mean that I don't love him and I don't want to be with him. And like if we did get a divorce, I'd be fine. Like, no, I would be devastated. We have a 10-year marriage, right? People have this illusion that love is effortless. It is amazing. It's incredible. I've been there. I felt that. I thought that. And I thought the path to bliss means that there will be no more obstacles. And this past weekend really showed me that you can still have obstacles, but the way you come and handle them and move through them and regulate through them and express the things that I've learned afterwards is completely different. I created a framework because I really love to take my own lessons and put it into a framework for people. The 3 relational conditions for communication to work. Capacity. Do they have the bandwidth to receive this right now? 2, timing. Is this moment resourced or reactive? Meaning, have I processed and analyzed and done the inner work, or am I responding from my wounds? 3, safety. Does the field feel safe enough for truth? Is his nervous system too activated right now? Is my nervous system too activated right now? Do we just need to take a little bit of a break and cool down and come back and communicate? And this is important to make sure that you actually come back to communicate and don't throw it under the rug like I used to. Relational intelligence is knowing the right move, not just the right words. This is so important too. Like everything that we just said, it's about feeling into the energy and responding from what you sense, not always what you think. And that's exactly what it means to be in your feminine and not in your masculine. It's exactly what it means to be anchored in both your feminine and your masculine energies. And you choose when is it appropriate to lead with which energy. So recalibrate the safety in your relationship, communicate with conscious awareness, and express from deep truth and truest desire, because it's the only way we're actually going to connect with the people we're trying to connect with. If you only are relating from the mind, if you're only relating from what they did to me and how I can get revenge and payback, you're constantly going to be stuck in this tug of war, to be honest, in a very uncomfortable, unhealthy, unsafe dynamics with others. So once safety is present, understanding follows naturally, automatically, because you are able to understand yourself so much deeper, and then you're able to understand them so much deeper. Trust me, it just works. So if you're ready to do this work, if you're ready to dive in a little deeper to find what you think and feel and who you are and why you're here and like how you can relate to others and be experienced in healthy relationships, join Union, where it trains you on capacity awareness, safety building, repair literacy, real-time relational intelligence. And it doesn't just give you like communication skills and tips and this and that. Like I've been seeing a couple of relationship apps come out in the market right now, and mine is a million times more dynamic, more robust, more integrated for your specific journey. So check it out. I'm a big fan of it. I use it all the time. We do once a month virtual calls where you get to drop in your questions and I answer them for you. It's community support. It's direct guidance. It is an AI coach in your back pocket. It is one-on-one with me if you need it. So I really just want to anchor in the lesson of this episode, which is stop asking, how do I say this better? And start asking, is the moment built to receive truth? Pause, reflect, assess, and then express. Cool. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I am excited for what's to come. Christmas is around the corner. New Year's is around the corner. Adnan will be home for 2 weeks and then he's remote. And we are moving to New York. We're moving back. We don't have an exact date yet. I'm heading to Cape Town in January. I'm heading to New York in January. I have so much travel coming up. So many fun adventures. I am just really riding a really great high and anchoring in when the moment calls for it. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much.